Right, so I'm the writer and director of my new and upcoming short film. I say short film, Tinseltown. Next to me, do I introduce
I
yourself?
am Jay Armstrong. I am the producer of Tinseltown.
I am Harrison Emmonds, and I play Jake, who's the protagonist of Tinseltown.
So, what is Tinseltown? You've said it is a short film.
Yeah.
What's it about?
Good question. Where to begin with that? It's basically about a young man who is living alone. I consider him a loner. I think that's a good way to put it. And he's a wannabe actor. He goes to the local theatre to try and be an actor, and he falls in love with a girl called Maddie, and he goes back home by himself, or so we think, but he lives with two imaginary people that don't exist. That's not a spoiler or anything. We're not going full Fight Club or anything like that. It's quite, it's known from the beginning that he's got two imaginary friends. Now, the two imaginary friends, they sort of act as like a devil and angel on each side of the shoulder, I guess. And one thing leads to another, and basically... I don't want to mention any spoilers or nothing, but the imaginary characters sort of consult him on what to do, they sort of they try and manipulate his decision making. I think that's a good way of putting it without spoiling it.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
So obviously you said you were the writer. How has it been, the two of you interacting as a writer and producer to get what both of you want out of this?
Let me answer this one first, actually. Let me go first. It's been painful at times. Well, it's like when he first came to me about producing the film, he came up with like, oh, so I've heard that you're a producer. I was like, yeah. And I was like, go on then, yeah. Like, I'll jump on another small uni project. And then he showed me the script. It was like 37 pages. Now, a normal uni one's like 8 pages. So I was like, all right, this guy's literally conned me. And then I started doing it, and it's been a massive film, to be fair, but a great experience for the both of us, to be fair.
I think it's been absolutely huge, because originally, because we're uni students, we're in our final year. I think, Harrison, you're in second year, aren't you?
Yeah.
But basically the module was you've got to create an 8-minute film. So if you work that out, it's like a minute a page, isn't it? So it should be 8 pages. But I've been writing Tinseltown for about 3 years. I think I started it in the summer of 2019, and I've been writing it ever since. And it just sort of got from 8 pages to 10 pages to 15 to 20,
You just didn't
all
stop,
the
you
way
kept
up.
on going.
And now
Right.
I think it ended up being about 35 to 40 pages.
But I did
then,
read the
wasn't it?
script, and I did really like it, so I kind of felt like I had to jump
yeah.
on it.
I think
it
the
was
best.
it was a good opportunity for me.
My worry was I wasn't going to get anyone on as a crew member because it was so long. Nobody was going to take up that role and be like, that it's going to create a lot of work for people, isn't it? You know, and I sort of had to con each crew member into helping out by saying, oh yeah, it's going to be 10 minutes.
You dirty little bit.
But it worked. It worked.
So how about as playing Jake? How has that been for you? How is that like interpreting their interpretations, I guess? How has that been?
It's been such an interesting experience to play a guy who's in a mental position where he knows he's not normal, but it's kind of his normal. And the best thing about working with Jacob and Jay and everyone who's really on Tinseltown is they have this idea, but Jacob, especially as a director, really likes to work on the idea with the actors. So when we were rehearsing before we even started shooting, it was getting the idea of who Jake is, but also who Jake is for me, and how to fit him into like my sense of playing him. But as a character, he's just fascinating. Like having these two imaginary friends, there's kind of this intimacy between just them two, because no one else can see them, which you can play with, which I've played around with the other actors, Craig and Brad.
Little shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Doing a great job as usual.
I think it was interesting because Harrison came on quite late into the production, and like you've said, I like to work with the actors very closely. I think I sort of separate myself from the crew quite a bit. I know a director's like in between, but I am very much more with the actors, I'd say. I still work close with you as well, but I like the idea of being sort of surrounded by the actors and really bringing out the best performance from them. To be fair, like I'm never satisfied until it's
Spot on.
yeah, spot on and perfect.
You sound like you're both a great and really annoying director.
Yeah, no, I think I probably am. To be fair, I'm a perfectionist. I think I have been probably all my life. To be fair, like I've always wanted to get things, like quite spot on, like you say.
Yeah,
So
I think it's the opposite of annoying for me actually, because there's this really interesting thing when I've been filming Tinseltown compared to filming other films is when I've done other films, which this is the longest film I've ever done. The director's usually never like anywhere near the scene. They're usually watching it from a screen somewhere.
Yeah.
Whereas Jacob, in pretty much all the scenes I've done, has just been in like my peripheral, like just so I can see him, and he's doing these gestures to kind of coach me into certain like ways he wants me to do it. And it's for me, it's better than doing it in between takes and then me remembering. And it's a way that you're like, oh, okay, well, the director's really into this. Like, it is, you can tell it's his passion when we're filming because he's really involved. Like, he doesn't want to just sit behind a screen. He's there with the actors. Like,
I think for me though, it's easy for a director, especially just to sit on the director's chair and just shout action and cut. And like you say, they do it from afar, don't they? But for me, it's always been like, anyone can do that, but my job is there to sort of push them all beyond what's expected of them to truly bring out the best performance. And if I haven't done that, then I haven't done my job. That's the way I look at it, you see. So
that all sounds absolutely amazing. I'd love to ask you, because I'm a theatre person, and you're saying you started writing the script back in 2019.
Yeah.
And so in the theatre world, we've obviously been, well, everyone has with COVID, but we've been, not able to meet, not able to do things closely.
Yeah.
So how has it been creating a film in this COVID world?
Well, it's been crazy, hasn't it? Really, I think the last 2 years, especially, I can remember we were in our first year when COVID, just absolutely wiped out the world, essentially, really, didn't it? And a lot of our projects got cancelled.
So I think it's kind of like leveled it out that we've done a massive one.
Well, that's the reason of my way of looking at it with Tinseltown was, why do an 8-minute film when I've lost out on making another 2 or 3 films over the last 2 years? So I'm kind of like, to compensate for what I've lost, make a director's cut and a very long one, But I think with COVID's been like, it's been crazy, hasn't it, really? It's been hard to adjust, especially in the filmmaking world, because, not only with the government guidelines, we've had university restrictions as well, which has been quite annoying. I remember last year we weren't even allowed to work with actors that weren't university students, I think it was, and it sort of tied your hands massively.
But I'd say luckily this year, like, obviously the guidelines have kind of softened a little bit, so I have been able to kind of get the most out of the film. Definitely.
There was a moment like before Christmas, I thought it wouldn't surprise me if Boris shuts the country down again or something, but I don't think the country can afford to be fair.
And Tinseltown can't afford to.
Tinseltown can't afford to. We've put a lot of we put a lot of money, but not only money, we've put a lot of time into making this film. I think it's 3 months filming now, and a lot of the students at the university, it takes them 3 or 4 days to film this.
They normally have like 2 or 3 shoots, and I think by the end of it, we're probably going to be about 21 shoots altogether.
I think it was about 19 in total, but we've got 2 more shoots left. One's quite an easy one. I say easy, it's probably the 3rd reshoot we've had to do now. And then we've got one big final shoot, which we are currently in the middle of organising and planning. And it's and then that's it. It's all wrapped up. So we're looking forward to the end product, and we've got a premiere. We don't have a date in mind yet, but I think we're looking at like the first 2 weeks of June, somewhere around there. Potentially the 13th of June at Everyman Cinema in Newcastle, and then we've got an awards ceremony on the 15th of June? The Gala Awards, which is like a university thing, but
taking all the awards.
I'm hoping to take all the awards. That's the goal there.
So it's been amazing talking to you guys. It's been such a great conversation, learning how you've worked and everything. So my last thing I would love to ask you is, where can everyone keep up to date with Tinseltown and find it?
We have
Jacob,
we
you
have
go. You
we
shoot,
have
you
two
go.
pages. We have Tinseltown movie on Instagram, and we have Facebook, which is the same title, just Tinseltown movie. We post stuff nearly on a daily basis. We've got rehearsal vlogs with Harrison.
Awesome, great
We've
stuff on there.
got we've
A lot
got
of
Yeah.
photos, just everything, like just keeping the followers entertained, I guess.
Yeah.
We've got a trailer for the film dropping on the first week of May. I don't think a confirmed date yet, but the trailer's coming out, and then it'll be followed by a second trailer first week of June, and then got the premiere, and then I'm hoping that the film will be released after maybe at the end of the summer.
And where's it going to be released on, Jacob?
Amazon Prime it'll be on there, won't it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Either free or really cheap.
Yeah,
It's going to be.
yeah. We'll
So
make it
please
cheap.
watch it.
Yeah,
It
and
won't be
please see it.
25 quid to
Yeah.
rent. You know, it's not one of them.
Probably
ones.
put it on YouTube for free in the end
Yeah.
anyway. But we've got big plans for it, and hopefully we can get the word out there. And I think a good start is on Spark FM. I think.
What a place, by the way.
Yeah,
I love
it,
this
yeah.
place.
It's
So
really, really
great.
good.
Thank you so much for having us.